Hello guys, as usual, this is RSJ Media. Please, if today happens to be your first time of watching, kindly subscribe, like, share and leave your comment at the comment section. Today is another wonderful day and I have with me one fine gentleman in UCC and Casford to be precise. He goes by the name Chei Opoku Derek. He is fondly referred to as KOD. He is the president of the Great Casford Hall. We are going to ask him some questions about his journey in UCC. So stay tuned as we go for a quick break. Okay guys, so our guest is here, well dressed. KOD, good morning.
Good morning.
Please, how are you doing?
I'm doing good yourself.
I'm also fine. Wow, finally we have you on RSJ Media.
Sure.
We want to know KOD. Why the name KOD in the first place?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Colleagues, subscribe to RSJ Media for more. My full name is Chei Opoku Derek. KOD. That is the Chei Opoku Derek.
Okay. How did the journey start?
I believe this is a very nice question. I remember when I came to level 100, I was one guy who always followed people to make sure you are successful. But it got to a time, second semester, we are going to vote for SRC president, Zaki Abdulhamid. He was a Casfordian. He was one of the secretary, and his father was the minister for inner city and Zongo development. Okay. A week to election, his father came on campus, and the man said something that some of us here may be too young. People may see us, we are so young, but then if you really have something in us, it is the time you exhibit those things. Was one thing that really motivated me. And I remember that day, Samir Oku also came. He was then the national organizer for NPP. I remember what he said. I say, Meka se meko youth organizer. Omusi miswa sa na medi. Meka se meko national organizer. Omusi miswa sa na medi.
Alright.
And as it stands now, I'm speaking in the capacity of a national organizer of the New Patriotic Party. Those words seem inspiring because you got to realize all these men started from the scratch.
Yes, very
where
true.
there were no hopes, but then they believed in the little they can do. But now, they are who they are.
That's a great thing. Okay, you initially aspired for Casford Hall treasurer, but then things didn't go well as planned. Why did you even move ahead to go in for the president position?
Sure. When I came to UCC, I had the opportunity to serve Casford as a finance committee member in level 100. Okay. You can win election on campus. One advantage is for you to be in the hall, because most 80% of the vote cast are from level 100. The advantage of you being in the hall is that regardless of you not dressing for campaign, you surely meet somebody and speak to. Yeah. And I believe relationship counts so much in politics. I had an opportunity to be the welfare chair.
I even wanted to ask you a question on that. The initial agenda was to get Casford Hall treasurer. Yes. You ended up being the welfare chairman. So why that portfolio?
When I went to bed, there was this professor who asked me a question. What if you lose? Is it that you are going to keep these ideas with yourself, or you also help in the improvement of Casford? I told him that if I lose as a treasurer, I will serve in any capacity to make sure Casford is in good stand. Pick the form for Veritan, I passed, and I was given the opportunity to serve at the welfare. I told myself, am I going back to the treasurer, or am I quitting student politics? Because I was suffering. Academics, I was declining, time, attention, everything was going down. I even decided I won't get into student politics. I got to realize that I'm giving up, but people need me a lot. That was the time I told myself, it's time I come back strong. I decided to vie for the presidency, because then you serving as the welfare, in fact, you kind of having influence or interest in all committees, nothing was able to convince me that I can lead. 2 days later, I declared my intention. I started pushing, and today I sit here as the president of Casford.
That's quite interesting. When you were speaking, you said something like, if you want to win election in the hall, if you leave diaspora, it will be very difficult for you to win. So can you say that that's the reason to did not win this election?
I don't really know. Maybe it's because I work extra hard. If before I'd been the president, we will all contribute and push for the interest of fellows.
Have you ever regretted serving as a welfare chairman for the great Casford War?
I have never regretted because I believe I may be who I am today through that. If it hadn't been the warfare, I wouldn't have pushed for president. No, it's one of the committees. I don't know how to describe it.
What did you see in the warfare aspect that gingered you to go in for the presidential portfolio?
I realized that the warfare has to do with the general well-being of the student. I asked myself, so what are some of the expertise I need again before I can be the president of Casford? The warfare really made me know much things.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question about your vice president. Dependable happens to be a level 200 student. What did you see in Dependable?
There is this dynamics in campus politics and campus elections that regardless of how the person is, if the person is pushing an agenda, his year mate, his course mate will never go against it. If myself and Dependable are pushing, I am getting the 300s, Dependable is getting the 200s, then we all fight on the 200s.
Yes.
So if I go in for 300, meaning I'm lacking a whole year batch, that is level 200. In fact, I had a situation whereby most aspirants in 300 came to me, they want to vice. If you can testify, putting our opponent aside, other people who were pushing agenda, you can testify Dependable was very hard.
Yes.
It was very hard work. He's a very young boy, but very perseverant. If you want to achieve something, he moves with all his efforts. He will get to a time you believe he can make it, but then he will make you feel that it is possible for you to make it.
That's Dependable for you.
That is Dependable. He's very hardworking, very persevering in achieving things. I was part of the group that went to help him campaign when he was vying for himself president. And I got to realize he's having the zeal, the confidence, regardless. He was aspiring with somebody who was in front of him. But then how we went together as team and others really made that agenda successful. And I got to realize one thing. Dependable was part of me when I was aspiring for training.
Okay.
To the extent that when I was pushing for presidency, Dependable was pushing, it was quite a disadvantage to us. Because some of our team members were in a dilemma. They were finding it difficult whether to push to Dependable or to push to my side. It was also a factor that I believe when we emerged, all these people really came on board so that we can push the agenda. So going in for Dependable was the best.
Okay. So during the election, did you ever think of losing?
No. When I started the agenda month to election, before we picking form, I never even felt I was competing.
Okay.
The only time I felt I was competing is when Apia Kubi became to first vice president. That was the only time I felt I was competing.
Okay. And why?
Because he was somebody who was also with the level hundreds. Many of them are really, they like how he is and others. Myself, I like how he is. He's very calm, very respectful. That was when I started feeling I was in a contest. But when I was pushing alone, before pushing alone one with G, I never felt any day that I was in a contest. I'm saying this thing that it got to a time some people asked me to even merge with someone, take someone's advice, and I told them that as it stands now, I am never in a competition.
Okay.
If it is about because of that you think I have to merge with someone or that, no, I'm never in a competition. But later I thought I'm competing, but not a loser. Though it was very difficult because the propaganda against me was so much. A very young boy, he can't defend us. We want a law student who can always defend us. KO, this is just 19 years. Others, if you go to Indian School of Business, they are saying I've not been there to share the cost to them. I'm just keeping it on myself. Negligence was a whole lot. But then I believe, as I always say, I will lose, but I will never lose forever. Things will definitely be fine.
To ask you again, will you swear to serve the whole with all you have?
It's a very nice question, and I want to make emphasis on this. I know as it stands now, no Casfordian can stand anywhere and say that killed when he was even appointed the warfare, he couldn't serve with all capacity.
Please, I want you to do something for us right now. Read your policies again. Can you do that for us?
Okay. I think my policies was categorized into 6 thematic areas. My policy and the warfare, we want to establish capacity building programs that will really enable Casfordians to look outside their field of study, build upon themselves, so that they can fit into any area of study after school. If you get to academics, we said we will continue with the hybrid library project. We also said we will help so that we can give awards to first class students. We also want to lobby that the SRC can get us at least 2 summer hats or 3 summer hats, so that they can aid group discussion. Sometimes these interviews we can even do these things under summer hats, well structured one, that we can all be beneficiary of that. We also said we will procure more chairs for our program instead of using the library chairs, which are very unpleasant. And we also want to make sure we provide additional dry lines, then also beautification. Casford, one of the things that we don't normally focus is beautifying the place.
Okay.
But then we have to make sure the hall is good painted, beautify Casford.
Okay.
Then sport, we said we want to get a gym, a wall structure for a gym. Then our Superpowers League, this time we want to boost it. Then we also want to embark on a multi-purpose court, for which we were able to negotiate with some alumni who promised they will really help us to get the court. Health, we also want to say we stock our infirmaries with drugs. We were organizing per semester health screening. We will provide dustbin at our washing bays, because if you go to where we wash, that is where you see much soap particles and rubbers of soap and this thing. If we are having this thing there, I think sanitation will also improve. And your regular cleaning up exercises, you also organize those things to make the place clean, to reduce the spread of malaria. Entertainment, we said they need base speakers. Our speakers are always giving us tutors. Organize programs whereby alumni will be coming.
Okay.
It is very unfortunate, myself and you will sit there, then you will be like, oh, 2018, 2019, there was this man who is now an MP. But then those things are always worse. Let them inspire us so that we can also do more. So the wing and leaders, we also said we will procure some adequate materials to them, Chakotu and others to the traditional council, some logistics for the parliamentary. We also want to boost our debate society. We give them some t-shirts and notepads. We also allocate some adequate budget to them so that they can organize their programs. Diaspora, we said you'll be taking souvenirs to Vantage Point, Parliament House, signs, so that those are the diaspora can easily get those things. We also organize inter-area competition. That is where Amamoma and Yunsu Pro. Everybody gets a team. We come to Casford, we play, entertain ourselves, we go back. We just want the diasporians to always come to the hall and fill the Casford again. Because some of us immediately we leave the hall, nothing, we don't even come. And I think the security, we said we introduce the key control system, whereby we'll be having offline and online section. If you come, you mention your name, room 20, they will check and they will see, yeah, room 20, Reagan is there before they give you your key.
Okay.
When your roommate is coming, it will identify Reagan has picked the key already, so go to Reagan for your key.
Wow. So
that it will also aid the security system. We are hoping that our hall management will also help us activate the thumbprint, so that this time, if you go and study and you are coming at dawn, you can just push the thumb on it, it opens, then you get in. These are some of the things we hope in embarking.
Wow. We are praying that you live in good health and then achieve all these policies. KOD, thank you very much for having you on RSJ Media. What do you have to say to our cherished viewers?
Fellows, colleagues, students, friends, keep watching RSG Media. Subscribe, follow them for more. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, KOD.